What is it called when one family robs another family? I wonder. This used to happen all the time. Lots of different ways that this happens. Family gets together and they rob another family. I think it's called war. Or attempt to rob from a family. I think it's called war. Pretty sure. Like, even if you went to like tribal war or like clan war, all these things, and it's amazing. Like, what I would try and, or what I'm trying to ascertain now is like what would it be called if like a family was trying to rob another family, and like say someone was like documenting that, and like they were pretending that they weren't trying to do it, but it was pretty clear that they were. And it like then we had to map out like fucking hundreds of years of history, all this shit that everyone has forgotten and no one really knew. So it boiled down to just individuals had like devolved into some type of system where families were warring with each other. Something that we haven't really experienced openly for a while, because of certain order was kept. But imagine there was a place that was like kept and was kind of kept in order, and then there was like an emergence of this like lower level warfare going on in the system itself. I mean, wonder what you'd call that. It's definitely like a deterioration based on what I've researched and what I've looked at and history, like what I know of history. Like there's a deterioration. This happens like if you've ever worked at a place and you start hearing whispers that someone's going to get fired. If you've ever seen that, how people act and they start fucking ganging up on it, it's very gross, it's disgusting. It's actually one of the main reasons I got away from wage-based work. It used to make me so ill what people would be like that I left, and I did. So I worked in a place where I got paid for what I did. I made my prices, I got paid, you know what I mean? And that's how this country was built, in one way or another. And so now whatever there is if everyone has these, like, let's call them like a place you go to provide you with these tokens so you can have fun, like a casino, the same thing. So you go to this place, but it's called like a job. So you go to your job. Now imagine how crazy it would be if you, I don't know, misinterpreted those fun things you're doing that you're spending your fun tokens on as like necessary for life. And then imagine we built a whole system on an elevating standard of life, standard of living. And we kept adding things into it like devices and internet access and like fancy food and exorbitant rental prices that are in no way aligned with any historic precedent for labour exchange for work. And like, imagine that's almost like a sickness, isn't it? It's like there's a virus out there that keeps telling people that they are going to never-endingly be able to rent their place for more, and everyone agrees to it, keeps agreeing to it, while people die because they can't get housing. And then even that, it's like people aren't really dying because they can't get housing. They're dying because of the social pressure of not being able to get a house in an artificially retarded, hyperinflated like section of the economy that isn't linked to anything else. And if you do ground it to anything like historic reality, it gets pretty. It's serious. But now we're in a state where, like, because of this constant, I don't know, scrapping and deteriorating of society, most people are actually unaware of this and literally cannot even be explained it. It's just going on. I think this is maybe what this thing going on with this homelessness thing is. Homelessness is it's a mental disorder of sorts, but even mental disorders are tricky. It's like a symptom of societal pressure because you're all like scrapping with each other rather than just sorting it out. Like there is a massive disconnect. You can just, the people that own the property, you can just talk to them. And you can actually talk to all of them. You can say, hey, you're all insane. This is bullshit. And it's where like what I've done is my position, I've chosen to make that statement rather than, I don't know, momentarily benefit from like a bubble, especially a bubble that's this bad, because I have solid grounding in reality and historical reality, not just the reality of now, which none of you have actually been told, you've just assumed. And there's just a lot of assumption going on. Like this is a big place. Western Australia is a huge, huge place. And there's tons of things that we need done. And it's like, there's no way, if you look at the government, like what they're doing, even what they're saying now of that there's this home, it's like, that's craziness. What are you talking about? You're selling a lie. Especially to talk about Western Australia. Like it is the largest fucking place. And there's no one here. So what do you get, like, there's no attempt to like re-evaluate certain systems that have gotten out of control and carried away and are preventing, like there's so much anti-competition going on that it's cannibalistic. And it just, I think a lot of people think there's this kind of thing of, you hold property and you can always rent it. It's like it's an investment, I suppose, or something like that. But that's a mental illness as well, because especially in Western Australia, especially in this period of time when we have these devices and ever increasing like interconnectivity, it's like that's a bubble. I don't even like going into the city. I can like very cheaply provide enough I can go off somewhere and I can buy certain things at such cheap prices and like live or provide my own for like years at a time. And the country's huge and I want to kind of have a look at it. But the most difficult thing about me thinking about doing that is that system down there is so disconnected from reality that, like, if I go for 2 years and come back, which is what I did a trial run of, you just go insane. Yeah, it's a bubble. It's a gigantic bubble. It's Tulip Mania level bubble. Everyone's got to get a bit comfy with how actually easy it is to be alive. Even despite the bubble and despite probably the crash of the bubble or the deflation of the bubble. But like, you can't just keep lifting the standard and bypass, there's too many statistics there to play with to show you how actually crazy this is. There's far too many statistics. It's really, really, really bad. And people are going to just become immune to it. They're going to find, innovation will spring forth under this stimulation, and that innovation is being prevented, but it won't be prevented forever. So, yeah, it's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, and it makes me feel ill. And, I wish you would all wake up. Alrighty. Why do I put Atlantis on all my posts? Why? Have you noticed? It's because this is Atlantis. It's not a specific place, it is this web that I'm speaking into. And it's the largest innovation to even think. It's not a, like I've heard Joe Rogan a couple of times talk about it. We're giving birth to a new life form. We've developed a higher order in a way, that tons of other things do, like trees, mycelium, plants, that's what we've done. We've done an amazing job. And it is like all, I've got chills running down my spine, and because I know what I'm talking about. One of the largest by far, innovation that humans supposedly have innovated to do with healthcare is antibiotics, which is derived from penicillin, which is a mold, which is a fungus. Mycelium formed, interconnective spore transposing entity that lives here and interconnects the entire world. Human beings almost definitely have now incorporated a fungal entity into their biome. And this can be encouraged by being in environments where there is healthy mycelium and interaction, because we literally can plug into that. Now, this that we've built here is an homage to that, and we have done it autonomously and disconnectedly from what we're doing. It's not that we're creating a life form. We are doing what humans do at this stage of evolution, is probably the best way to call it. My awareness of all these things is based on my trust and belief in that system, my faith. Religious institutions that keep that idea alive, in the idea of faith, I have to show you this, so I'm going to stop and then record, but I guarantee you this is right off. So, as I'm talking about this, I have a visitor. Now, this visitor has come to listen, I'm guessing. This visitor has a lot of names and a lot of fear around it. And if disconnected from the whole story, like what I'm saying, what's going on, then I might be very uncomfortable. Also, I was concerned that maybe it was a lizard, but now I'm certain that it is the legless version of that. There he is there. Very small, juvenile snake. Now, is it a coincidence when you're talking about that and a snake rocks up at your door? I don't know. What was I talking about? Talking about the interconnectedness between mycelium. Now I'll turn it back on me and I'll keep an eye on him. Well, where is he? Oh no, it's a lizard. It's a lizard. It was a lizard, so my story's not as cool. I was certain it was a snake. It was quite a bit longer. and it moved differently. And probably my mind, because of talking about this, was thinking about, wow, well, look at this. It's still a lizard. It's still a reptile. So maybe, I don't know. I'd like to think that he's come to have a listen. And I think the world is a better place when I think like that. I think everyone would agree that if we all thought a little bit more like that, we would be better. When humans start getting to the level of other humans are the problem, it's actually the end of the road. Yeah, we should be, and it comes from being exposed to too many humans. It should be interesting, other humans. We should be in awe of their capabilities and of their differences and all these things, but we're not. We're scared, and we're scared of fucking everything. And I think it's because we've lost our connection. Funnily enough, in order to kind of develop this digital mycelium for our species to feel safer and to incorporate ourselves into the world, we had to disconnect from the jungle, from the wild. And then it's our fear of that pushed us to this. And now that we have established it, we now have to begin the process of all of us together reintegrating with the world. And you can start this in your own body, like reintegrating different life forms into your biome, which is we're so terrified of, because we got a glimpse of something that we didn't know was there, and we terrified ourselves about it. And that's what we seem to be just... It hacks into our... we communicate by telling stories and scary stories, but these dark things that we don't know, like snakes, like sharks. And I have trouble with them. I have trouble with sharks in my mind, not in reality. I've had very little interaction with sharks in reality. But in my mind, I have trouble when I'm in the water. If I start thinking about sharks, it makes me very uncomfortable. Snakes are the same. I suppose spiders less and less nowadays. People, God damn it, people is, by far the biggest one. But things in the dark that are going to come and get us. This is a story of our innovation, all our innovations down this trail. But I think it's like an ocean. Like we talk about space, and I think it's like, I hate it when they say it, that we've explored space more than the ocean, but because that's silly. We haven't. Or we know more about it. No, we don't. No, there's no way. But still, even the ocean is just so unexplored, but everywhere is unexplored. Everything is. But as soon as you step outside of your house, and more importantly, your bedroom and your phone and your feed of humans, juggling for treats, then there is an infinite amount of things right there that no one knows. It's new territory everywhere, and not new territory to be any new thing. Fear is the first thing, and this is what's happening with the metaverse and the internet and the stuff with trying to put bans on with kids and misinformation. It's like they're the fear mongers, and they're hard at work. And because it's hard. It's easy to be afraid and to make a big song and dance about something. It's very hard to try and actually understand things. That requires a lot of work. So it's a skive. It's people trying to avoid work. And that would be the state of the entire global economy in the Western world right now. Obviously, there are regions that are still very much planted in reality, and they are kind of wheeled out in front of us to make us feel bad. But it's our fear that perpetuates those situations. So we've really got to take responsibility for our fears and for our incentive system for encouraging exploration into what could be. Like, there's lots of ways. It's scary and dangerous, boring. A lot of it's boring, but boring is lazy talk. Even the word is lazy. It's not. Yeah, it's not boring. It's not socially reinforced. That's what I find more and more and more. We're just socially reinforcing like the worst aspects of humanity everywhere, on our media, on our television, on our internet. Yeah, we need to find the heroes of the unexplored areas and make them, consumable, and they're everywhere. We need to open up that sense of awe that we feel for large vistas or, blockbuster movies, for the awe that's right there in front of us. And this is the people like David Attenborough and things like that have done amazing work, but we need to escalate that to another level. And we need to take there's this monoculture, popular culture thing that is just, it is now so disgusting, and we need to take it down a few pegs and open up some diversity in human organizational structures and human communication things, like societal arrangements, and yeah, I think people need to start realizing that class systems and caste systems never had anything to do with money. And that's just an assumption.